Hello, Beard Wizard family. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Beard Wizard Man, also known as Trevor on social media. Links to all of which you're going to find in that video description below, including ways to support this channel. The biggest way, though, and you guys are going like gangbusters, click that red subscribe button. We're going for 5,000 by the end of the year, and at this rate, we're going to beat that by quite a bit. So thank you guys so much. But keep going, because if we lose momentum, I'm not going to make it, and I need your help. The Warning Army, anybody else who has stopped in from other streams or has seen my other stuff and you're just here, please click that button and help me out. I would really appreciate it. There's other ways to support us in the video description, like thebeardstruggle.com, my merch store and all that stuff. But really, getting the subscriber count up is the biggest thing you can do for my channel. Liking and commenting, all that helps too. But yeah, get that subscriber count up. Thank you guys so much. So, it's another live reaction, not a review. I don't want you guys to confuse the two. I have not watched this before. Last time I did a review of The Warning, one of their songs from Queen of the Murder Scene, I talked about how story-driven a lot of these songs are and how I'm really interested in where that came from, the development of that. And one of you guys pointed me to these three blogs. I was actually looking for like a behind the scenes of the making of the album or something, and I had not stumbled upon these yet, so I didn't know these existed, and you guys pointed me to them. So we're going to take a look at the first one, which covers their sort of thought process and ideas behind chapter 1 and 2. That's in the description. I haven't watched it yet, of making Queen of the Murder Scene. So I want to watch it with you, give you my thoughts from an author's perspective, because like I said, it's a very story-driven album, and I love story-driven music because I'm a storyteller. I love that style of music, and I'm interested to hear. I mean, they're obviously very young at this point when they wrote that album, and I want to see where all that came from and how that developed. I'm very interested in that. I'm not sure their exact age. Maybe they'll say it in the video. You guys might be able to help me out here, but I'm guessing the oldest of them is maybe 17 at this point, maybe even younger. So very young to write a full-on story like this, but I'm curious to see where it all comes from. So thank you guys for being here. If you're in the live stream, say hi. If you're watching the recording, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. We are going to take a look at this. Pause as necessary. Give you my thoughts. Again, this is a live reaction. I have not watched this before. I like my reviews. And so, yeah, you're going to be getting my real-time impressions, thoughts, ideas, and all of that good stuff. And it's going to be a long one because this is a 23-minute video. So even if I try to keep the commentary to a minimum, it's definitely going to be a long one. So buckle up. I hope you got your popcorn and your drinks. So here we go. This is vlog number 23 from the Warning channel, covering chapter 1 and 2 of the making of Queen of the Murder Scene.
Hello again!
Oh, Nick,
hello, cheers.
Okay. He doesn't want to be here.
What's up,
Say
guys?
hi.
Everything says hi.
Yes. Okay, so in this vlog, we're gonna be talking about our new music.
Yay!
Woo! Okay, so chapter 1 and chapter 2 are out already, and we are so extremely happy that you're liking it.
Yay.
Guys, you have no idea. Like, all your comments touch our heart. Like,
Yeah, we have read everything.
try to read them
and,
all.
We're really
Can't
happy
Can't
that
do
you're
it
liking it.
anymore.
In this vlog, we're gonna cover like chapter 1 and chapter 2 because we haven't made a vlog for chapter 1. So
Yes.
basically, this is like new music vlog.
Yeah.
So, let's start.
Chapter 1,
Yeah, let's start with chapter 1.
which is Crimson Queen.
It's Crimson Queen.
Ugh.
And
And
the one.
the one. Okay.
Oh, okay. Those are like those songs have cool stories.
So I actually have only reviewed one of those songs. So I need to, actually what I need to do while we do this is I'm going to write down, so she said Crimson Queen, and the one. Now I've reviewed, I guess it's, yeah, obviously how you say it, and really like that one. So I'm going to have to check out the others for sure.
Yeah.
Crimson Queen is Danny's song.
Yeah.
Danny wrote the lyrics. It's Danny's song.
That's kind of like it's a nice story because, well, that song was not gonna be on the album.
It's not.
Yeah. I have been writing that song for like a lot of time, and it was just like my song to kind of just learn how to.
Ad factor. There's always
We're gonna have ads,
we have,
unfortunately.
Great Culinary Team.
Can't get around that.
Directly to your door and is never.
How do I say, like?
And this is live,
Something,
so.
It's something I like to have fun with. Like, I recorded myself on Pro Tools, and then started at a guitar, studying out of voices, and just like figuring out. I did like 7 different demos
Oh,
of
wow.
that song.
And
And when I finished,
That's
I
impressive.
she showed it to
like,
us, and
showed
I
it
was like,
do you
I was
remember this song?
I was mind blown because I remember when Danny had it like very like a rough
Yeah.
start,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was just mind blown. I really loved the song, and Danny doesn't like usually start songs, so when this
Yes.
one was just like,
So, like,
Wow.
when people like it, it makes me extremely happy. Like,
Oh,
you
for
have no
sure.
idea, because it's kind of like a big stepping stone for me. Like, I'm used to writing with them, but
that was
writing
her own.
on my
That's
own
cool.
that
is.
was- Because yeah,
kinda-
writing on your own is it's like a very hard thing. Honestly,
Yes.
I don't even write on my
Yeah.
own. I mean, I start songs, but
Mhm.
I don't finish it. I basically just have chords.
I 100% agree with that too. Writing, I mean, most authors write on their own, but they usually work with other people to do things like editing and covers, and I'm about to do, well, I have done already one collaboration writing with another author, and it's different. I wouldn't say it's always easier, but it is nice to have somebody help shoulder some of the burden of writing a story. And when writing music, obviously you got more moving pieces and parts. You don't just have the story, you've also got to compose the music, and in their case for 3 instruments. So having a team there to put that together would make that process much easier. So writing it all on your own, I can imagine, is crazy challenging.
It's like a very hard thing. Honestly, I don't even write on my own. I mean, I start songs, but I don't finish it. I basically just have chords, a very basic idea of what I want to do, and I immediately go to my sisters. A lot of people are saying like, I write all the songs, guys. Seriously, there wouldn't be one single song on this album if the 3 of us hadn't like wrote together. And most of the songs, some of them I started them, but most of them we actually started them and wrote them together.
Yep.
And
That's cool.
sure, sometimes I write more lyrics, but it's not that I write all of them. I just write like a little bit more, but that's
Especially since, like, the making of a song has a lot
Lot
of different
of layers. Because
stages.
exactly, because maybe I have like 3 chords, but then I take it to them, and then suddenly we have 12 chords, and it.
Yeah,
It's
kinda-
a very long and complicated process.
from the writing to the
to the
mixing,
mixing.
to the mastering, like everything.
And production wise, it's just a very hard process, and we always do it together. It's always the 3 of us, and a lot of songs, like if you compare it to 21st Century Blood, a lot of the songs on this album we actually started them together, but we were
Yep.
writing like in our basement, and we were just like in the instruments, and we started them there. So, and I think you can hear it. You can hear that there's really like the 3 of us there in every single song. So,
Yes.
so basically, and then what's the second song? Oh God.
That's
That-
where the name came from, because every time we like try to work on that song, it's like, ugh.
No, basically that song, Danny started it.
yes.
She had it
Long
a
time. It was
song
like-
for a
Actually,
from
the
a long time.
yeah,
Song.
I was just jamming out one day,
was
and
a long-
that riff, just like came out of nowhere, and I was like, yeah, it was mainly a guitar riff. Like the guitar was gonna start the song.
That's interesting how that happens. I mean, that's very similar concept for authors. When we sometimes, I have a lot of stories that started with a scene or an idea, or so like, oh, that would be cool, and I'll write it down. I have a whole journal full of these things that sometimes it's just a couple or 3 words. Sometimes it's a whole full-blown scene, and then it gets put away because I don't know what else to do with it yet. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, that would work here, that would be cool, or suddenly I know how to expand on that. So, you know, musicians working the same way, like they write a cool chord. I can't remember which song it is, but there's a story about Kirk from Metallica. He had written a guitar riff when he was, before he even joined the band, he had written a guitar riff when he was like 16 years old. And then when they were writing one of the songs on one of their early albums, he played it and they put it in there. And it's cool how that's so similar, whether you're a musician, a storyteller, author, songwriter. Sometimes it's these little nuggets of inspiration that at the time don't mean anything, and then suddenly they evolve into a full-blown song or a story or a book or whatever it might be. That is really cool.
Just like came out of nowhere, and I was like, yeah, it was mainly a guitar riff, like the guitar was gonna start the song, but then we got onto the bass.
No, but basically that song started off as a very different thing.
It was
extremely
really
different.
Really
Yeah,
different.
And we struggled. I
Ripple.
mean, that's the song that we struggled most on the album.
we did like
We did like
so many versions of it. Like
2 out of 3 men experience
YouTube has
hair thinning
gotten
by the age
awful
of
with the
35.
ads.
But
we did more. I think we did kind of like 20 versions.
Yeah,
and basically,
probably.
it was so
No worries,
many.
Peep. Hello.
And every one of them, different lyrics, different
Different-
melodies, different.
oh,
everything.
in the studio we actually finished a
The
ton of
song.
lyrics.
A ton of
Yes.
lyrics.
Like,
in the
we
studio.
did it like
the
on
day
the
we
spot.
recorded.
Oh my god,
the
I'm
vocals.
remembering the old lyrics and God. That, I mean,
They were pretty.
We even did a parody. It was like the
don't know how to
What
keep
is all
it
that
stable.
noise?
Hearts and bagels.
or
Yeah.
bacon or
yeah,
Yeah,
bacon.
it-
We were
it was-
hungry
yeah,
that day.
But basically, that song had 1,000 versions of
Yeah.
it,
Yep.
and we barely finished it. And we did have a couple of like tentative.
we
names
were
for it.
kind of sick of it.
Yeah,
Like,
we were sick
like,
of it. At least I was.
You know what?
Let's just keep the name Ugh. We didn't really want to change it, and
we didn't know
And
And we didn't
That's
found
great.
like another name.
Fine.
Fine. Sorry.
and after we did a lot of we did
It's so there's still kids here, and it's so cool to see the interaction. Hello, Peep. I don't know if you heard me before. Welcome. It's so cool to see that interaction with them. But you can tell who are the outgoing ones. Ale is so quiet and so reserved, and that comes out when they play and when they perform. You can really tell that their personality is absolutely embodied in their music and in their performances. Yes, awesome. Welcome, Paul. This is going to be, Paul said he made it before the last couple of minutes of the stream this time. Yeah, YouTube's notifications, sorry, they suck. And thank you for being here. And yeah, if you're coming in late, you can obviously rewind or wait till it's over and let YouTube process and then watch it. But I do appreciate you guys stopping in. But love the interaction. Hopefully you guys are not hearing all the noise. I don't know what's going on. Like somebody's out there murdering a cat. I don't know. It's really annoying.
didn't really want
Here
to
we go.
change it, and
we didn't know
And
why.
we didn't found like another name.
Fine.
Fine. Sorry.
and after we did a lot of versions for and one of those versions turned out to be the one. And
Oh, yeah.
the other one is the sacrifice.
Oh,
So
really?
basically 2 songs came out of trying to fix
Yeah.
let's talk about
That's
the one.
the story.
Okay, the one.
I'm sorry. That happens so much too with writing. I love that because I'm not a songwriter. I'm an author and a storyteller, but that right there happens so often with writers. We'll write a story and parts of that story just won't work. And it's not like we just delete them or pretend they don't exist. Sometimes we take those sections like I really like that, but it doesn't work here. And we'll take it out and we'll just set it aside, almost put it up on a shelf, right? And then maybe a year from now you're writing a story and you're like, oh, I have this thing that would make a good offshoot or a good side story or something like that. Is really neat that's how that happens for them too, because not being a songwriter, the process is so similar that I find that very interesting as an author. That's really cool.
Oh, the one is I started the song on the
Yes.
piano.
Piano.
Wait, how does it start?
Wait.
Do
Please
anything
don't
to
do
make. That's a sacrifice. Okay, thank God chapter 2 is released because I would hate you. Okay, so basically, the one started. Oh, this is a very interesting story actually. The one started was only piano.
Yeah.
It was an only piano piece
Only
that
melody.
I had, and then I had some lyrics. This song was not even gonna be in. I mean, at first it didn't even fit in the story, and then we started adding different aspects to the story. We added like the whole stalker kind of thing. So now that's so now the one
Cat.
could
It's like,
get
what
in
the
there
hell?
in the concept. So basically, I had the song on the piano, and I had a different chorus for it. Basically, the chorus for the sacrifice used to be the chorus for the one. But then we started working on the one, and we didn't like the chorus, and we put it like on standby, and we started
We
working on it.
That makes
really
sense.
did like a whole Frankenstein
Honestly,
of
all
songs.
the songs are like very Frankenstein-ish. But the one is a very fun song, and it's one of the few songs where I started like experimenting with chords. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in 21st Century Blood, most of the songs have the same
Chord progression.
the same 4 chords basically.
And
when
a different.
and different keys. So when we started writing this album, we were like, we need to change
Get away from
Welcome.
that
that.
formula. We
Yep.
really need to get away from that. And
That's
since I
very
started,
mature.
Although, I mean, it's kind of weird. People tell us, like, it's so weird that each song in 21st Century Blood sounds so different.
but have like the same chord progression,
So
and that's
it's
really
like-
fun. I take
That shows a level of professional maturity that you wouldn't, like, even older, longer running professional bands who've been doing this for years struggle to change their sound, struggle to recognize something like that. For them to recognize that, you know, they needed to evolve the next album into something a little more complex, to get away from that chord progression, to get away from that you know, same basic 3 chords. I mean, how many times do you hear about a band that everybody's like, oh, every song is the same chord, it's the same. I mean, Nickelback, every song sounds exactly the same. For them to recognize this early on, that shows a level of professional maturity, but also their natural talent in that they knew that they couldn't continue to do that and evolve their music and continue the longevity of it, because a lot of those bands not around. You look at the bands that do evolve, the bands that are playing 30 and 40 years later, they recognize that in themselves. They're doing it so early that is going to lead to their longevity, lead to their success down the road for years and years, because they're able to recognize that in their own music. That's really good.
People tell us, like, it's so weird
Sorry, this
that
is gonna be a long
each
one.
song in 21st Century Blood sounds so
different, but have like the same chord progression,
So
and that's
it's
really
like-
fun. I take pride in that we actually could make it sound different.
We could,
It's like,
we could do it.
but
That's good.
Okay, so basically the one.
Oh, YouTube.
It has like modulación.
What is that? 4 ads in 8 minutes?
So we were really
Harmonic
proud of that we could start like incorporating new elements to our music.
Of things we
Yeah.
learned. Yeah, we have been applying a lot of, like, new things we have
And
learned.
we have learned. Oh, and you remember one song that we went into the studio to change only one phrase?
The one.
It was the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Are we-
will
are
tell
we
you.
gonna- are we-
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we
say
can,
the
okay.
lyric. Okay, it was. Is it all in my head? Was it something you said that let my heart explode?
No, it's that made my heart explode. Explode.
Explode. That was
And-
the lyric.
Okay,
And I
made
was
my
like,
heart explode was the lyric, but
Made
then
my-
we returned to Monterey, and my mom was like, "Oh yeah, left my heart exposed," and we were like,
Wait, it doesn't
"That's
say
not the
that.
lyric," and she was
she's
like, "Oh, I thought that was the lyric," and we we're like,
But
let's
wait.
change it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
perfect. So
That does sound
but
good.
we were not very happy because we were like, we had to go back and record one phrase. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
Okay,
you,
so
you had to go back for mixing. And
Yeah,
stuff,
so
so
we-
it's
yes.
fine.
So yeah,
Oh.
We took
Like that.
advantage of that.
yeah, aprovechamos. I don't know how to say. It.
Take
Yeah,
advantage.
yeah.
Took advantage.
Also something that happens a lot for authors, it wouldn't, especially when we have beta readers or alpha readers, that, you know, my wife is my alpha reader on my stuff, and she's the first one to read everything that I write. And there are times where she'll make a suggestion, and she's not an author. She knows she's not an author. She's not an editor. But there are times where she will say something about how something sounds or give me an idea, and I'm like, that's really good. And even she's like, well, what do you mean you're going to use that? And I'm like, no, that's a really good idea. That happens so often. Hello, Diver. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
So okay, and now this is gonna be a long vlog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Oh
It's
my
going to be a
God,
long
already 9 minutes.
reaction.
okay, so when
Chapter
so
2.
oh wait.
Oh.
So we had like this whole concept, right? But it was a very long process to get it like to where it is. At first, it was not even a complete story. It was just about. I was just writing about. You see that I write in characters. I was just basically writing about a character who killed people, which is not nice. I know. I'm sorry, guys. But I mean,
That's
I
what
just had, like,
characters
that
do.
idea. And then when I took
That's
it to Danny
fine.
Alley, we made it so
We
much more
shaped
than
it.
that. Thank God. Thank you for fixing
Yes.
that. And then we showed it to our parents, and my dad was like, you know what? Like, we should totally make this like a novel,
Peep,
you know?
did Mom get
that's
writing?
why we really
Peep asked if Mom got writing credit. I don't know. I gave my wife credit on a lot of stuff.
that. And then we showed it to our parents, and my dad was like, you know what? Like, we should totally make this like a novel, you know? So that's why we really like. My dad was like, let's release it like in EPs, so people can actually like get the like the
Every
story. 'Cause
part of
if
the
you
story.
skip a song, maybe you don't understand the whole concept. And he was like, yeah, let's release it in chapters and everything. We were just like so
That's a
psyched
good
about
idea.
it. And then he was like, oh, you know what? Let's do an artwork for like every
Each
single song.
We're
And we're like,
Dad, you're a genius.
hell yeah. So that's basically what we did. And then we took it to Rudy, and then we started like working on it as a team. And then we worked with Gretel, and I mean, everything just worked out fantastically.
Yes.
And we're so glad that everybody's like liking the whole concept of it. Yeah, we're so grateful for Endeavor coming up with that, because imagine if we had just released it like that. No, thank God
Yeah,
for
no.
releasing it in
We're
chapters.
doing this. I'm sorry that
Welcome.
we're leaving you with doubts and like intriguing. What the heck?
We're
No,
leaving
that's
you,
the good-
With
cliffhangers.
yeah, a little bit
Yes.
of mystery here.
Yeah,
and
but
there.
I think that's fun. You know,
Yeah.
it keeps you
Yeah.
there.
It's
So
fun
that's
for
cool.
us.
Yeah, at least for us. Okay, so now
That's
chapter
good.
2, and chapter 2 is basically. Should we? Yeah, we should explain the story. I mean,
No, wait.
okay, we won't explain the story then.
Because-
Don't give it
basically,
away.
You have to be a little more evil.
Okay, so chapter 2 is. What songs are they? Oh, it's Stalker, Red Hands Never Fade, and The Sacrifice. I'm gonna take it out here. I'm gonna explain the name.
I have
so
not done
The
any of these
Stalker
songs.
was a song that I started before I had, like, we had the concept
Yeah.
of
Yes.
the whole
Album?
I remember
album.
we
I was gonna say the name.
we
and I was
changed
like,
the
"Woo!"
chords of that one.
The chords?
Yeah, I remember that we were sitting.
I need to review these in a different order. Damn it, you and your ads. It's like an ad every 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, we did the chorus. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like.
Okay, so
Oh, it changed, like,
I remember that I was in piano class,
Mm-hmm.
and
Piano lesson.
I was like, we played piano lessons, potato. Okay,
No,
so basically,
that's not gonna give-
so basically, I learned these new chords, which is basically the cliche that goes in the piano at the
Like,
beginning.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I really liked it, and I wanted to make a song with that. And the chords just sounded like really creepy. So I was like, you know that I'm not good at writing love songs. So basically, I had the mentality of like writing a creepy love song, which is basically what came out. And then after like,
Nothing wrong with
couldn't
that.
finish Stalker. So basically, we took it
Nothing
together,
wrong with that at all.
And when we started adding the music, it was just so creepy.
Yeah.
It was
really
so. It was
cool.
disturbing. It was
yeah.
uncomfortable, which was everything that we wanted it to
The
be.
guitar feedbacks.
Yeah, we
are
were
like,
when we were
We were so-
I have not done
them,
any of
there's,
these
like, our
songs.
rough drafts.
Like
Mhm.
yeah, like
Yeah,
our
or
Or demo.
Or demos. That's the word.
Demos. Or like really.
Wait, Pete brings up a good point, and he says I need to do Queen of the Murder Scene in order. And when I started reviewing The Warning on this channel, I think I started with their most recent song when they started doing the Teatro Metropolitan concerts more recently. But the only song so far in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 I've done is Ugh. So I will probably go back and start in order. Maybe what I'll do is, I've already done Ugh, but I haven't done these other 5. So I'm going to do those in order after this. And then maybe we'll do the next vlog for the other chapter. I'll review those if I haven't already. If I've already reviewed them, I'll just point to them. I'll link to them in the review so you'll know that's the next one in the story. But yeah, I'll have to go back and review these in order. And I haven't done, like I said, the only one of these first 6 so far that I've reviewed is Ugh. And so yeah, I'll go back next Wednesday. We'll start with Crimson Queen and go from there. I like that idea. Paul says Queen of the Murder Scene is a masterpiece. I can honestly say all of their music is fantastic. I've loved the stuff out of this album, partly because it tickles that part of my brain that as an author, that I can see the story in it. I can realize what they're doing. It's not just a song about one thing. It's not just a song about a topic or a song to sound fun. It's a story, and it's building across multiple songs. That's kind of why I wanted to do this. And yeah, I'm very interested in that as a writer to experience that in order. Diver, several songs from Teatro Metropolitan from Queen of the Murder. Oh, absolutely. I know definitely some of them are from that. So Terry, welcome. So yeah, we're gonna go back and we'll start this in order at least and go from there. George, welcome. Oh yeah, I will absolutely next Wednesday for sure at about 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be doing a live review of Crimson Queen for sure. I can't do it right after the vlog. This is going to take me up to dinner time. Got to go spend time with the family and all that. But next Wednesday on the Warning Wednesday, we will be doing Crimson Queen for sure.
Like have everything.
Waldo,
every
welcome.
single detail.
Put a lot of time into our
yes,
demos.
we
So-
produce our demos.
So
like,
when we
to
were
100%.
recording the guitars, we were like,
Yeah,
that was
those riffs and
really
everything,
cool.
everything just like
Yeah.
felt
Actually,
perfect.
those feedbacks are from the demo. Like
Yeah.
we didn't want to change
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
like we were so used to
The
them, and
pianos
they
too. I
sounded
remember
so
I was
good.
recording the pianos and we put like
A reverb.
it was I don't know. We took out a lot of like I don't know. I remember what I did on the piano, but I remember that I made it like wet, like the sound was wet and like very like distant, and we just loved it because it felt reverb. I'm sorry. So and it felt like really.
I love that I'm relating to so much of what they're talking about in their process as an author too, because there are many times where people will ask me about how did you come up with that idea or how did you write that, and I want to sound so smart. I want to say, oh yeah, I knew what I was doing there. I meant to do that. I could tell you guys that the vast majority of authors do not have that much intent behind every single phrase and paragraph and line and scene that we write. There's a lot of stuff that we do have intent behind. We intend there to be something, but there's a lot of times where somebody will pick out a scene, be like, what were you thinking here? And we're like, I was just writing stuff, but you want to sound smart. So you try to think of something, but like she said, she doesn't even remember what she was doing. It just came out. And that's what so much of our writing is like, it just came out and it sounded cool. So I left it there, and then people pick up on that stuff and they want to know why you did that. And it's so funny. Stefan, thank you for being here. Hi from Montreal. Hello from Illinois. George, been a Warning fan for about 5 years. Got to see them here in New York. That's my next. I want to see these guys live because I think that would be absolutely awesome. Yeah, Diver, Terry, happy accidents, serendipitous accidents. That's what so much of writing is. And then authors stand back there and go, oh, yeah, I meant to do that. I totally meant to do that. No, we didn't. We had no idea. We just thought it sounded cool.
Good, and we just like, you know what? Let's just leave it like that. And but thanks to Stalker, like Stalker is a reason that like we were able to incorporate a lot more songs, and the story got like kind of more like developed. So and after Stalker, it's Red Hands Never Fade. Red Hands Never Fade is actually a really cool story. About like 2-3 years ago, I had like the phrase "Red Hands Never Fade." I did a doodle on a notebook with
That's
a
how
hand.
it works.
That is I do not know how to draw. I'm sorry, but it's a
Me
really
neither.
bad drawing, and it just said "Red Hands Never Fade."
It looks
And
like you
after-
did like a hand in chocolate or something.
Yeah, it was a really bad drawing. But then I came back and I just started like writing some stuff, and I just left it there for a very long time, and I did not like pick it up again. And then
Right.
when we were doing like
Just
were
what I
trying to
was
pick up
saying.
songs that could fit here, and then we grabbed and we were like, "Red Hands Never Fade," like sounds like it could fit here.
That's
In
awesome.
this story.
Yeah, and then we started working on it, and it just turned out like really. My
That right there, like I was saying before, that is so much. It's so cool. It's so cool to see that another medium of storytelling, it works so similar. Not that it surprises me. It's just kind of cool to see that. My very first published short story was a scene that I had written years and years ago. I had written this scene about this guy getting in a fight, and I wrote the whole fight scene and that was it. I didn't know what to do with it from there. I had this scene in my head. I thought it sounded cool. I wrote it out, and it was in a notebook, and I put the notebook away. And then years later, I was kind of like, oh, I know what to do with that. I kind of have an idea, and I pulled it out, and I finished it, and then I published it, and so it's kind of cool to see that translates across multiple mediums, that it's the same ideas and concepts in the same way, the same process of creating. Waldo, yes, they talked about that a little bit ago. Like I was saying before, you can either rewind the live stream or let it process at the end and watch it later. But yeah, you could definitely rewind the live stream. They talked about it a little bit ago. Diver, Pow's bad is better than 90%. Probably. I'm a terrible drawer. I mean, sometimes if I really focus and have a lot of reference material, I can kind of crank out something that looks halfway okay. But I paint pictures with words. I definitely am not a visual artist by any means.
we grabbed and we were like, "Red Hands Never Fade," like sounds like it could fit here.
In this story.
Yeah, and then we started working on it, and it just turned out like really. My favorite like part is like the whole "to tell you to tell me to tell you."
Yeah.
I loved like that's.
And I always got it wrong, like
You
recording.
said like to tell
Tell
you.
you,
No,
to tell me to tell you to tell me.
Yeah, you always like switched it up.
you.
But that was my favorite phrase. I
Well, it's gonna
felt
be
so
fun,
proud
right?
of that. That's really
I know.
cool.
That is
And
good.
Then
it was that song was really hard to write. I remember that. Do you remember like the really
to
long
write.
songwriting sessions that we
Yeah,
had?
we
just
spent, like,
Oh,
trying
just
to finish
hours.
those lyrics.
Yes.
Because the lyrics for the verses were
Oh
no, but wait, that's
no.
another
We,
song.
no,
we
no,
also-
we
it was
also
before.
we
It
have
was
a ton
before.
of songs that we
Okay.
took
It
a
was
long
before
time
we
to
went to
write the
LA
lyrics,
and
but
everything.
Red Hands Never Fade was one of them. Okay, but that song is and that song is really the most tiring song to play, cause
for you.
it's really fast
For you.
and I'm doing
like,
eighth notes on the
Well,
right
my
hand
notes are
all the
also
time. And in the bridge, I'm doing 16 notes.
Oh.
So it's basically my right
That's-
hand is doing
yeah.
this the whole
Oh.
song. And it's so tiring, but it's really fun to play.
I'm not a drummer. I took drum lessons for a little while because I thought it would be interesting to learn. Yeah, that what she's talking about, that would be challenging for sure. For a professional drummer, she's used to it. She could definitely do it, but thinking about doing that is crazy. Peeps says, get a bodyguard for that phone. I am old school. I keep everything handwritten. I even handwrite a lot of my stories, and so I have a hard copy. I don't trust technology all that much. I mean, I've dropped this phone twice today, and I don't hardly ever drop my phone. If something happened to my phone and this was where all my stuff was at, it's too easy. It's too easy to lose technology. I trust my handwriting and I trust these a whole lot better than I trust my phone. I lost eyes on the button. There we go.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say which one was for me, but it's still not.
No, it's still an
I
outro.
was like,
Okay, and the next one is the sacrifice, which is really weird to call it the sacrifice, because okay, let me explain a little bit about the background of the sacrifice. Basically, I remember we were doing you know the Patreon rewards where we write lyrics.
oh yeah, we were
writing the
I
lyrics
remember.
for like one of the Patreon rewards, and I was listening to my K-pop playlist, and I remember I was
Oh, Danny
She
was
likes
having a
K-pop.
party
oh
at
you
the
were
house.
in a party outside.
Yeah, I was like,
and,
what do I?
and
I don't
Ale,
remember this.
and I were writing the lyrics.
It was that day.
It was
Yeah,
that day.
right.
So
Oh,
basically,
wow.
I had my headphones on and I was listening to my K-pop playlist, and a song.
No,
I'm
don't
not
say the
gonna
name.
say the name, but basically a song came on and I was like, whoa, this is really cool, and I was
Welcome,
just like
Oregon.
felt like really inspired to go to the piano, and basically
No,
I had okay.
Refreshing citrus kick. Zero
Ads.
sugar.
Oh.
Do the do.
We can't skip this one.
And I started like
Son of a...
playing, and stuff just like came out like really well, and I had like the birth.
Oregon says tell the house burns down. I'll let you in on a little secret, Oregon. My writing journals reside in my backpack that goes everywhere with me, and it sits like if the house were on fire, I'd be going for the backpack after I got everybody else out. To the point where when the fire alarm went off at work one time, I got my backpack out of my office and everybody's like, why you're supposed to just leave? And I'm like, literally my life is in this backpack. So it's going with me. That's how it's going. I don't know what's going on. My girlfriend lost so many phones. I told her to wear it like a necklace so she won't lose it. I know. My kid breaks so many phones. Now that he's got to buy his own phones, he's a little more careful with them.
Okay. And I started like playing, and stuff just like came out like really well.
Sad panda.
And I had like the verse part 1 was what the first thing that came out. But the second part of the verse,
Please don't.
no, that's the first part. The second part is the that was from another song that I had that we didn't even use. I just
Again.
grabbed that part.
Pieces
I
and
didn't even
parts.
show it to you guys. That song was horrible, but that part was good. So
Yeah, I thought that
placed
was
it-
like the original.
So I placed it there, and I was like, okay, this is sounding good. And the one more simple question came out
did.
when we were with Nick Littlemore.
in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I remember that he gave us some chords. He was like, write like a very short song.
Ah,
with this,
yeah,
And
well
that's
done.
what came out.
And
And,
we-
Nick
yes.
told us like, whatever came out here in that session, you can use. Like, it's yours. Use it on your songs. So we found out that it fit perfectly there. And we were like, you know what? Let's use that. And the chorus. It was the one from the one. But that chorus actually came out after, like, the same, like, K-pop influence, which is
Yeah.
really weird because you guys keep telling, like, oh my god, I hear this type of influence here, I hear this type of influence, and it's just really funny for me because, I mean, I look at the list of influences that we like, what we were listening to when we were making this album,
You were like,
and it's the extreme opposite. We really, like,
It
listen-
makes no sense because what we do sounds nothing
like what we listen to.
yeah.
Because, I mean,
at all.
our
We
album,
grab like tiny things we like.
that we
Curious
like,
about
and we
this.
try
We
to
make
like,
it our own.
and we make it our own.
Say
Basically,
it.
what we were listening to was a lot of like Japanese rock and a lot to K-pop, and that's
Yes.
Really?
And of course, what we always listen to.
and-
Yeah,
of course we
like
always
My
listen
Chemical
to.
Romance,
But
yeah,
stuff like
basically.
that.
Lollipop, Panic at the Disco, and stuff like that.
But it's like but I think that that whole jumble of
Really? I never would have guessed that. So it's funny because when I first reviewed this band, I had somebody jump in the comments and say that, you know, when I was hearing influences from like AC/DC and Metallica and Pantera and that kind of stuff, and they were like, oh no, there's no way that these girls had listened to those bands. Meanwhile, some of their earliest covers are AC/DC, Metallica, Foo Fighters, and stuff like that. But to hear their not necessarily their influences, but what they were really listening to during the recording of this was Japanese metal and K-pop. Now, Japanese metal, I review a lot of Japanese metal in this band, or on this show, and if they're talking like Love Bites, Unlucky Morpheus, I can see Unlucky Morpheus as an influence for Queen of the Murder Scene, because it's a very orchestral, gothic metal sound that comes out of Unlucky Morpheus. Similar to Love Bites, very operatic, and big metal sounds. But those bands, a lot of those Japanese metal bands, depending on who they're talking about, are heavily influenced by late 90s, early 2000s American metal. Pantera, Queensryche, Metallica, Black Sabbath, all of that stuff, So it's interesting how that kind of all comes full circle. Pablo, hello. John, hello. Terry, got my violence shirt today, yes. Saw them. Spent more money on merch than on my ticket. Hopefully I'll get to see them live. Waldo, both of my 6 shirts. So you guys are talking. Bandmate, yeah, absolutely. Bandmate is huge on this channel too. Bandmate, I love them. Hopefully they put out something new, because I think I've reviewed every song on their channel at this point, so I'm waiting for them to put something new out. But Bandmate's a big one for us too here. Absolutely.
And of course, what we always listen to.
Yeah, like My Chemical Romance.
But
Panic at the Disco.
Oh, very
but
nice.
But I think that
Sorry, Diver says that they met Bandmate at the festival and both groups are fans of each other. That's awesome. I love Bandmate because they're such a solid hard rock band that is sorely lacking here in our current local U.S. metal scene. We just don't have anything like that anymore like we used to. So I love Bandmate, and they're big on this channel. So if you like Bandmate, check out some of my reviews.
that whole jumble of stuff that we listen to, it's like we're like a melting pot, and everything just like comes out like a very unique sound at the end.
And so like each one of us has a very unique sound.
So it even makes like even more.
So yeah, well.
So basically, the sacrifice was called Gracias K-pop.
So we always said gracias. It's thank you in Spanish.
So we basically called it Gracias until we were recording it.
It's still weird for me to
call it the sacrifice.
It's always like gracias. Like live when we
at least when we practice
live,
it here,
it's
like Ale tells me like what song is next, and I say gracias. It's not the sacrifice, it's gracias. But the sacrifice has to be like my third favorite song from the album. I love it so much.
Your third favorite song. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just so proud.
Okay.
I used to be so stuck with chords, but those chords, we really just went out of the shell with that.
Yeah.
We have like
well,
that
modulation.
On the piano. I struggle. I worked a lot on those chords. So I mean that modulation from the pre-chorus to the chorus, I was just so proud of that. It was just like, oh my god, it's so
the
different.
second chord from the pre-chorus, it's like
because instead of doing it minor, and like if we did it minor, it would have stayed it would be diatonic. It would have been inside the scale. But since we did it major, it's no longer in the scale, so it sounds like kind of like dissonant. I love that. I was just so
Welcome,
proud.
Space.
And so that's what, and just musically, I love all the riffs.
Oh yeah.
I have like my favorite part is the pre-chorus. The second pre-chorus.
Fun fact, the last songs we wrote were...
Factor provides balanced eating made simple.
It's so convenient, it's just delivered right to your door.
The meals can be...
Welcome, Space Nave.
That's the one, and the sacrifice.
And the sacrifice was also another, result of us trying to fix my god, the vlog is 21 minutes.
We're so sorry, guys.
Okay, but quick thing, the last thing I just want to say, it was okay, so we had a lot of fun recording this. I recorded the pianos, and it was really fun recording those, but live, that's gonna be fun. I really... but with the piano, you're doing it on the guitar.
Yeah.
And it sounds so cool. I love it. I personally really like it. And then the one, I mean, we're using a track because it's not like we're going to stop playing to go and play the piano. Yeah, but we're really, really glad that you're liking it. I hope that when we finish releasing the chapters, we can sit down and explain to you what the story is about.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about that.
Hope so.
Yeah, after Lunario. And
although I gotta say, guys, most of you are getting pretty close. Well,
I mean,
sometimes.
some of these are not very complicated stories.
It's not very
It's a very easy story to follow, honestly.
Before I forget, sorry. We have seen that a lot of you guys have doubts about Nada Mas Records. We are not signed with a label. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like it's our own like
It's our like
sello de. I don't know how to say it.
It's our sello de.
Our sello.
I would agree. Pablo says, besides being rock stars, they are smart, humble, funny, and nicest people on earth. They seem extremely genuine, and I think part of that is because they did not get sucked into the industry early. They're talking here about this. All of this is coming through their own label. Remaining independent. I'm an independent author myself, and not getting sucked into the publishing scene. I look at authors who are published, and I look at how they view the world, how they view fan bases, how they view what they do, and it seems so cynical. It seems so miserable. And at least here, being independent, being in control of your own work, being able to do what you want to do, lends itself to being able to stay genuine, to stay true to what your vision is. And so that probably has a lot to do with why they are the way they are, is because they didn't get sucked into that, at least this early, and allowed them to grow into their own art form and stay that way. Carl, welcome. They remind me of Jessica and Ashley Simpson. I'm not sure in what context. I didn't really pay too much attention to them, but cool. John, hope they never changed. Me too.
Like it's our own like
It's our like
sello de.
No, Diver, I do
It's our
not.
sello de.
Our sello.
Symbol, like our symbol for.
No,
The thing is, like,
We'll release
if
it
you
later.
Google it, like,
Nothing's
you're not
gonna
gonna
come
out.
find anything.
It's not a record label, guys, don't
yes.
worry.
We're still
It's-
very independent.
Yeah,
Good.
it's just to be independent,
but with a brand.
yeah, basically, yeah, that's it.
You gotta do
Nada Mas
that.
Records, it's still us.
Yeah,
don't worry,
it's
guys.
and the name is from an inside joke that we have
That we
with
have with
Rudy.
Rudy. So yeah, guys, we're really
Yeah, don't worry
happy
about that.
you're liking it. Stay tuned, cause chapter 3 it's not long till it comes out. Don't worry.
Sounds like
So-
just like. I don't
Okay,
understand
so
anything.
the next songs are like are one of my are a few of my favorites, and I think it's you guys are. I think chapter 3 you're gonna like it a lot. I think it's gonna be one of your
Yeah,
favorites.
yeah, yeah. I get it now.
You're gonna like it.
It's
So
okay. I'm still missing one song, though.
this block has gone on for way too long. So we're gonna say goodbye, guys. And when chapter 3 comes out, we'll
Tell you all about
yeah.
it.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Very cool. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. So I've got the first 6 songs I've already reviewed. We will definitely do Crimson Queen next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. So if you want to make sure you're there, 4 p.m. Central time, we will check that out. That is 43 minutes before now if you're looking at your clock and you're in different time zones. They did finally sign with Lava Records, Diver said, which is a division of Republic Records. It took them over 7 months of negotiations. That happens, and technically speaking, when I do this, I look at independent artists, and that doesn't necessarily mean doing it on their own. There's a lot of independent labels out there that still allow the artist to keep control of their work, but just help them do things like distribution and all of the minutia of getting your stuff out there. Like Diver said, I don't want to give tour books 80%. I still have to give somebody some portion of what I sell, because somebody still has to do the work of publishing the book and all of that stuff. But at least I don't have somebody sitting over me saying, oh no, you got to write it this way. I don't do that. So anyway, thank you for being here. I will see you guys all again soon. You have a great one. Much love. Bye.